Life is a series of changes, but what matters most is that you have a community to help you through it all. Button City is an adventure game exploring this very idea. It's a story that celebrates community and friendship infused with some arcade action, sim elements, and a series of cute, low-poly pastel dioramas that make up the town. You play as Fennel, a young fox who just moved into town, who's shy but excited to make his first friends, a group of kids known as the Fluff Squad. The initial conflict is beating the rival crew, Tough Fluff, at an arcade game called Goabots. But the bigger threat, losing the arcade completely, surfaces early on. Button City's look had the biggest impact on me. Between bright pastels, cute animal characters, and sharply shaped cookies, the art direction is simultaneously cozy and awe-inspiring. Like a kid at a carnival, I marveled at everything happening around me. Side characters are notably odd yet lovable, which compelled me to go beyond the main quest and end each day with a bit of exploration before heading off to bed to progress the story further. As did the sim elements, with the chance to buy, with in-game currency, or earn cosmetics from clothes to room decor. Playing the arcade games in Button City provided some welcome change when it came to gameplay. Drifting around quarters and Revolution Racer provided some 90s nostalgia, and Prisma Beats' rhythm game action satisfied that part of my brain that just wants to zone out to button inputs. But by far, the star was the biggest game in the story, Goabots. The premise is simple. Two teams of robots with different abilities across them battle each other with the goal of having a smoothie with the most berries. You can take an offensive approach and kill enemies, or focus on collecting berries and beelining for the center where the smoothie machine is. Toss in your berries and repeat until the time is up. But damn if I wasn't invested in each match. I found myself yelling when I died and feeling a rush when I got one over on my opponents. If this came out as a standalone game, I'd play it. Though these arcade experiences are fun, I found myself wishing there were more games to play and things to do in the arcade. The fact that I can't use the crane machine still breaks my heart. It's worth noting that while there are only 3 games to play, you can add buffs or debuffs to the experience and even unlock additional game modes. My biggest issue with this is that there's little to do out the gate with these games. A few additional modes baked in may have enticed me to explore what else remained. Additionally, while the games were enjoyable, I didn't feel a desire to make them harder with debuffs, and they were easy enough that buffs were equally unappealing. Ultimately, my biggest issue with Button City is it's a little boring in some of its quest construction, and your movement is unnecessarily slow. Towards the end, main missions became an annoying string of fetch quests that are dragged out by getting details piecemealed to you at an alarmingly slow rate. You're told to meet a character who then tells you to pick up a set of items, and when you return, you're immediately sent out again. This is even worse when coupled with how unnecessarily tedious it is to get to some locations. From homes inconveniently placed behind a labyrinth of doors to an apartment with a winding staircase that brings everything to a halt. At times, traversal or quest completion became convoluted. Repetition by way of mechanics or quest structure is somewhat unavoidable in any game, but in Button City, it became really noticeable with some of the optional tasks. While these slowdown moments don't take a lot of literal time, they add up, and are such a chore that they sometimes discourage me from delving more into Button City. And narratively, Button City is a solid story about friendship and community. It's a bit simplistic in its feel-good nature, but having multiple narrative threads running across the main story kept me curious as I wondered what would be the fate of the arcade and who would take home that coveted golden Goabot. Smaller moments with side characters gave me a good feel for the town. It was really cool getting to see how Fennel's mom's day would go, and though we never get a deep dive into her world, we learn enough to realize that everyone has their own problems and plot lines going on, even if our days feel like the most drama-filled. It's a good life lesson to keep in mind, and a testament to the writing that I could feel so much given so little, and this feeling cuts across characters. In short, Button City is an adorable and charming story with a heartfelt message and some genuine moments of amusement. The games in the games are a fun novelty, and I appreciate all there is to do in town. However, Button City is bogged down by its slow movement and occasionally annoying and repetitive quest structure. Be sure to read the full review, linked in the description below. For more indie game reviews, check out our thoughts on 2D and Top D, and be sure to like, subscribe, and tap the bell. Drop a comment below and tell us what you think. And as always, thanks for watching.